So this makes sense. Everything I've talked about, they're letting people get away with stuff. And yes, they actually can get in trouble for knowingly allowing criminal activities to happen towards anybody. I've showed enough proof and evidence about people doing RICO acts on me and organization and every other thing. They are knowingly knowing what is going on at the end of the day. So this helps me a lot right here to understand that they're constantly allowing people to do criminal activities towards me. They've always let people get away with it. They let people slide. They always help out the wrong people. And actually, I'm kind of glad I looked this up, because this explains a lot. There's a lot of incidents, what I've talked about, what I've shared, proof evidence wise, they keep allowing criminal activities to happen towards me. They're not stepping in. They're not interfering like they're supposed to. They always let people slide with their threats. People constantly put me in distress, annoying the hell out of me. They always let people get away with their criminal activities. I've even spoken upon this a lot of times, and they know what's going on, and I did not think this was very serious, that if police stations continues to let people do criminal activities on me, which I've already explained, I showed proof, I've showed evidence of it, of a lot of people's involvement, community mobbing me, trying to kill me, trying to unalive me, community murder, smear campaign, always slandering me. I'm talking about criminal activities that they keep allowing to happen, when apparently right here they're not supposed to encourage bad behavior. They're not supposed to encourage them people to keep it up towards me. That kind of changes the game right there. Kind of glad I looked this up. And that's the thing though, is that I've always noticed when it comes to serious situations, I always get ignored. But they help people to get away with what they do to me. Like people trying to unalive me, they already know about that. They already know people are trying to send people to attack me, physically attack me. They know people are stalking my social media. They know people are constantly threatening me and harassing my stuff. And they keep allowing this to go on. This is like 30 years that they've kept this up. And this is really bad. That I really didn't think that, since I do have proof and evidence of people harassing me, physically attacking me, people doing community mobbing me, smear campaign, slander, that these people let these people get away with it for way too long. And they're well aware of what is going on out here, because I've spoken upon it, of the harassment, the reasons why these people keeps it up with their threats and they keep stalking me, is because they think that you guys ain't gonna do anything to them. I've exposed criminal activities going on in this town, and they allowed it to keep going on in this town. There's a lot of people who's complained on me, and they like to help out the wrong people. So this is really helpful right here to know that they can actually get in trouble for not interfering on some very serious things that I'm showing of people harassing me, gang stalking me, doing RICO acts, doing organization on me, people in groups try to attack me. They know people are stalking me too. They've helped out the wrong people. They've let it go on for straight 30 years. And that is a problem here in this town. I don't even know what made me type that in, but that says a lot right there, that yes, they can get in trouble. They always let people do whatever they want to me. They always don't like to intervene, or they tell me I need to ignore people. And whenever I try to get charges pressed, they tell me no, or I need to ignore people. They're not looking at the facts of that most of these cops can get in trouble from not helping me properly in this town. Not stopping the gang stalking, not stopping the RICO, them not stopping the organization, people in groups and activities, people physically being sent to kill me, to unalive me. They're well aware of this in town. And they choose to ignore it. They choose to encourage and allow people to get away with criminal activities on me. I've spoken up enough. I've already got screenshots up to prove this out here enough. I'm shocked. This is actually there. That they can get in trouble. Because there's been so many incidents that people have been distressing me, annoying the fuck out of me, and harassing me and stressing me out for years. That tells me right there, some of these cops allowed it to keep going on for straight 30 years. That's why I said there's a problem in this town. They allow people to stalk me, but they don't intervene. That's when they can get in trouble for not helping me to get it to stop. And that's why some of these people are very comfortable, because they think you ain't gonna do anything. They literally think they're getting away with it is because some police are doing that out here for straight 30 years. I've spoken upon so much things out here, what people have pulled, done pattern wise, and some of these cops knows the patterns of what I've talked about in this town. And some of them are ignoring the fact of that there's a second pattern of me being harassed on my TikTok. They're ignoring me. When I said they don't take me seriously, they always ignore me. They always let criminal activities go on. Like, there's something wrong in this community. Right there is what's going on in this town. They knew I was being harassed. They knew people were doing stuff towards me in groups of people, and they know organization was going on towards me in RICO, and they know it, but they choose to ignore it. And they are allowing these people to do this for straight 30 years. And that's sad and pitiful. That's right there in the flesh. that every time I tried to say something, that's why half the time I got ignored, and this is why they don't take me seriously, is because they're helping the wrong people out. I'm talking about some very serious things that can't be ignored. I'm exposing the criminal activities that's been going on towards me, and they know it's been going on. And some of them are ignoring that. They're not supposed to. They're not supposed to let people continue the torture or whatever is going on in their minds. They're not supposed to keep continuing, allowing, or encouraging people to keep up the ongoing stuff. They allowed this to go on for straight 30 years in this town. And most of them ignored it. And every time I literally try to get help from them, I get that. Is because they ignored me, but they let others get away with what they were doing. That's why nobody would take me seriously. This is why I always got in trouble with the law. And I believe it is the problem there. It's them too, but it's also the problem of now that can be looked at in different ways. If they are knowingly of what's going on, of what I'm speaking upon, and they're ignoring me, is because somebody is going towards cops and there's some money laundering going on. Someone's trying to keep it hush hush. Someone's got money, and you can't do that. Of barbering, those type of situations, they're not supposed to ignore of what you speak upon. Like if you're having gang stalking issues, people are doing organization towards you, or RICO acts on you, people are sending people to attempt murder you, they're not supposed to ignore that activity. People who are stalking, they're not supposed to ignore that. And that's how they get people in trouble who don't deserve it. That's how they're helping the criminals to get away with their activities. This is how they help people who paid them to act like that. That's the only thing I could think of. It's money in the category. And that's why they do what they do. And I'm actually glad to see this here. I can prove for straight 30 years of people harassing me, not leaving me alone, people threatening me, keeping it up, is because you're not stepping in to stop it. That's why I'm dealing with what I'm dealing with. You know, imagine straight 30 years and finding this now and understanding and having to acknowledge that this is why you help criminals. That you should have not helped. You should have stopped it right there and then. That's why I was ignored. That's why people would laugh at me, make fun of me. I've talked about plenty of criminal activities happening towards me, and they allowed it to keep going on. And I keep repeating that. Somehow, right now, today, boom. I keep repeating that, and look at what I found. It's because that's what they allowed. They continued it. They didn't want to stop it. They didn't intervene properly. And it could have been some of them who are corrupted. Some people could have families. That's the problem too. But that's not okay for pretty much, that's abuse of power right there. That you could give somebody justice. You could have helped the correct people out here, but you chose to help the wrong people at the end of the day. This is very questionable down here. It's like every time, like that one time, I tried to do something and I was ignored. That was, I don't know what happened to that, but this is why people get hurt, is because these criminals are working with the corruption up here, down here, wherever you want to call it, in this town. This is why people gets hurt. They get stuff happening towards them that does not deserve to be happened. It should have happened towards the ones who they acknowledge of who's really causing it. They wanted it to keep going on. They wanted the abuse to keep going on. Like, they wanted people to constantly drive you up the wall. They constantly want people to make you feel in a certain way. Is because they're evil people. And this makes the police look bad. Now that it's coming to a full circle of seeing this with my own eyes. They know what they've allowed over the years. They like to get people in trouble who don't deserve it. And that's how these cops keeps people out of trouble who's actually causing the problem, who needs to be looked into, not the person who they're attacking. So they help attack people in this town. They will help to attack you, slander you. They will help to destroy your life. They will have a part in taking your life too. That's how I'm seeing it. But there's a lot of things here that if they're saying that a police officer can get in trouble for acknowledging or allowing criminal activities to happen, they're saying there's some really bad corruption down here. That these cops always have egos, and they don't. Their egos can actually be brought down to sizes, like, really badly. They can literally be knocked down really harshly. They can even get to the point where they can even lose their jobs because they were hiding the fact of what somebody was going through. So they've tortured someone for a very long time. They've hurt someone so badly, or people out here, and then they get caught. They get consequences. And that's why some people gets hurt out here. Is because they're acknowledging and knowing of what, pretty much what I'm speaking upon. And they know it's a problem. That's what I mainly talk about, is the criminal activities that was done upon me for straight 30 years. And seeing this helps me. It helps me to relax. To know that some people can be questioned of who are they helping out at the end of the day. But just like I said, this is very helpful to know and understand this, where it was coming from, why I always got ignored, why people always kept getting away with criminal activities. This is why. And that's how people suffer with stuff that they don't deserve to have happen to their life, because there was a selfish cop out there, a corrupted or corruptions or corrupted multiple ones. It's not just one. There could be multiple that knows about this. So that's the problem. So there is the issue right there in a flesh. They try to hide it. They don't want to let others know upon it. And that's a problem. I've spoken upon how many times people have harassed me, bothered me, annoyed me, put me under stress, but that's why some of these people got away with murder. Because right here, they were switching up and helping the criminals out instead of helping someone who wanted things to stop. And they're continuing it. They're allowing it. That's screwed up. Out here, you know, truth does come out eventually. I'm just shocked that this finally came up in my presence. Maybe it was for a good reason, for a good cause. That maybe it is time. Remember what I said, that I think it's time for the police station and the police to be investigated because something's not right. That's probably what my ancestors meant. Is because of that reason. That it's time for people to be investigated of why they keep allowing stuff to keep going on. And then you get ignored. So they ignore you, but you try to tell that to another, they're going to look at you like you're dumb. Because they think everybody, no. Honestly, not every police officer knows your situation out here. But for the dirty ones, they keep it quiet. So the good ones don't step in and do their part and do their job of actually protecting the correct people. Is because the dirty ones are trying to protect the ones who done the wrong so they don't get in trouble. So they try to pin a innocent person, which would be entrapping someone, for some they didn't even do. And this is how people are getting screwed over. This is how people are being fucked over in the courts, in the justice system, is because of these reasons right here. That's really sad and pitiful. That's very shameful. That's corruption itself right there. That's like a warning alert sign for people to understand this stuff. Pretty much that is alarming out here to know and understand this. That this is why they attack people. They try to hide their involvements. They know about what people are doing, and then they try to switch the blame. That's very wrong of you to do towards people. Because you're hurting a lot of innocent people out here by what you allow and not stopping towards me and others. It's not just me out here. But this is all I gotta say. I'm gonna go and get off here and hope you guys have a lovely day.